welcome to DamageDrop. My name is Drunk Dog.
And my name is kingsize-donut. The both of us has been Call of Duty fans for a long time, but stopped playing after Black Ops 2 and came back after we tried out the Black Ops 3 beta. In the beta we primarily played Uplink, a game mode first introduced in Advanced Warfare, so we kinda missed out on it back then. But now that we're actively playing Call of Duty again, we find that we spend most of our time playing in this game mode. Because of this, we've decided to create a series of content on the channel specifically around playing Uplink, and we started with this video. This is going to be a general in-depth look of the rules of the game mode itself, and later in upcoming videos we will have guides trying to teach you how to play better, go in-depth on how to play on different maps, class suggestions and so on, all with the game mode Uplink in mind.
Uplink is for people who want a fast-paced team-oriented game mode. Team-oriented modes are few and far in between in Call of Duty, so this is an excellent game mode for people looking for this experience. Also, it's the fastest game mode to gain crypto keys according to some testing by redditor RDT-Toucher96. His Reddit post is linked in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself. The game mode itself is really simple, but also the most complicated, especially for new players as it is a very unusual mode compared to the other game modes we're used to be playing. One of the easiest ways of describing the mode is that it's like basketball. If basketball had guns and trusted packs and was played on a court with choke points.
Both teams start at the opposite side of the map, and when you die you will always spawn relatively close to the original spawn point. We like to call this location your home base. In the center of the map, the satellite drone will spawn. Satellite drone is straight up just a cool little name the developers gave the damn thing. It's pretty much just a ball, so that's what we're gonna call it from now on. In both team bases there are a big glowing orb floating around in the air known as the uplink stations, hence the name of the game mode. The goal of the mode is to get a hold of the ball and get it into the uplink station of the opposition. There are two ways of doing this. You can do what we like to call a dunk, jumping into the uplink station holding the ball for 2 points towards the win and 200 points towards the score streak. Or the ball can be thrown for 1 point or 125 points towards the score streak. The ball can also bounce into an uplink station counting as a throw goal by the last player holding the ball. You cannot score so-called own goals however, so as long as the teammate was the last player to hold the ball, you don't have to worry about the ball bouncing into your uplink station. The game might refer it as a drone, and it might look like a metal orb, but it's really just as bouncy as any other ball you might have played with.
After one team has 10 points or the game has been going for 5 minutes, the game will go into halftime, resetting the playing field and switching the spawns around to make sure that one team won't have any advantage of having one home base over the other. After the halftime, the game will keep going until one team has 20 points, resulting in a win, or end after another 5 minutes, giving the win to the team with the most points. If the game ends at a draw, the game will go into overtime. In overtime, the match will end after one team manages to deliver the ball to the uplink station, and the time they used to do that will be recorded. The game will then reset the playing field yet again, switching the home bases around, and the other team will have to get a goal at a faster time than the team that got the goal during the first part of the overtime. If they can't beat that time, they lose. Each side switch in the overtime phase is again 5 minutes if the ball is not delivered. If none of the teams still haven't managed to get a goal after the total 20 minutes of match time, the game is a draw. If one team manages to score a dunk in the first part of the overtime, they will be credited 2 points like usual, but it's not listed in the score, only their time is. Don't get fooled though, they still have a 2-point goal with that move. Meaning that if the other team gets a throw goal in after the side switch, they will have to get 2 throws in under the time the other team scored the dunk to beat their time and their score to get the win. Therefore, going for dunks can be beneficial, but keep in mind that a throw is faster and less risky.
But before any goals can be scored, someone needs to grab the ball. Once you grab the ball will be visible between your hands and you will no longer be able to use your weapons without letting go of the ball. All score streaks, equipment and special weapons are also not available while carrying the ball. But specialist abilities are still fully usable, and this means that a choice of what specialist to bring into battle is going to be extremely important if you want to go for delivers into the uplink station. It is also important to note that while all specialist weapons are unavailable while carrying the ball, Spectre's Ripper weapon is an exception and is still fully usable. If you are using one of the other specialist weapons, however, you will lose it if you pick up the ball, but it will give you back all the progress to get the weapon to the point it was when you acquired the ball, so regaining it will be quite quick if you just activated it. While holding the ball, you will be granted 2 buffs, an armor buff and a movement speed buff. The armor got its own durability bar visible under the crosshair, showing you how much of the armor is left. The armor does not replenish itself, but will be regained on a new pickup of the ball. This means that you can replenish the armor if you need to by throwing the ball and picking it back up, instantaneously getting it back up at max armor. We did some testing to find out how much armor you actually get from the buff, and we figured out that it grants the player an extra 100 HP, effectively doubling the player's health, as 100 is the basic health by all players in core game modes. But the armor and health are seen as 2 different things by the game, however, as there are things that break through the armor itself, like melee attacks, going straight at the player's health instead, meaning melee attacks from behind and combat knife are still a one-hit kill. It is also important to note that the armor does not count for headshots, so headshots are still very effective. The second buff you gain from holding the ball is a slight movement speed increase. Again, we did some testing to find out how big of an increase there is, and it seems to be approximately a 5% increase from the normal movement speed of 100%, seen on SMGs, pistols, shotguns, unarmed and a combat knife, meaning that while you're holding the ball, your speed will always be at 105% no matter what weapon you were using before you picked up the ball.
While holding the ball, there are 2 special actions you can and must use with the ball. The first and most important is the throw function. To do this, you simply press the right trigger, or whatever you have the shooting bound to on your system. This is of course vital for scoring throw goals or throwing it wherever you need it. You can, for example, throw the ball out of the map boundaries to reset the ball back to its original spawn point. It can also be used to throw at enemies, as they can't fire back while holding the ball, which only have melee attacks. This is an efficient strategy one-on-one, but falls short in groups, as it will simply just be put down by another enemy, so think wisely before handing over the ball. The second action you can do holding the ball is passing. This is a feature we feel not many know about, or used very often. It is not necessarily an important feature, but it is an extremely useful tool to fully utilize your team, as it lets you pass the ball between players with ease. To do a pass, you simply need to aim at the teammate and press the left trigger or whatever you have bound your ADS to. Make sure the crosshair is blue. This means the pass is doable. If it's not blue, the action is simply not possible. Doing this will home the ball towards the player, so it's pretty much impossible to miss unless it hits anything on its way. The ball itself has a number of statuses it can be in, and is always visible displayed in text under the minimap. The original status of the ball is its home status. This means the ball is in no team's possession and it has not been touched since it spawned. The second status, we'll call the carried state, means that the player is carrying the ball. The player's name is displayed in the ball status displayed under the map, and the player name will have a blue or red background depending on the team. Red is always enemy, while blue is always friendly. The third and last status of the ball is the away status. This means the ball is not in any team's possession and is not in the spawn point. If the ball is left untouched for 15 seconds in the away status, it will respawn, returning to its home state. The ball will also reset immediately if thrown out of the map.
That is all you need to know about the basics of Uplink. As we said at the start of the video, we're planning on making a lot more Uplink content for the channel, which will be a bit more advanced than this if you thought this video was a bit basic. We're planning to talk about all the different maps specifically with Uplink in mind, do some awesome special class recommendation videos that you guys can try out, and some other cool shit that we come up with. So if you want to see that, consider dunking that subscribe button, and leave us a comment down below, and of course a like if you found this video helpful. And with all that said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.